Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. In this video, I continue to build the Eagle Moss Nissan GTR R35. Now, I am on pack 19, stages 71 through 74. Now, in this pack, I install the rear glass, the rear side glass, the windshield wipers, and the rear view mirror. So pay attention to how you install the glass. Be very careful with that. You might want to use a little Vaseline to help things slide into place so you don't break the glass. But other than that, it was a really easy stage to build, and I enjoyed it immensely. So if you haven't done so already, head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. Let them know you saw it on my channel and that you enjoy watching my videos. I could really use the shout outs to them from you. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back. Here's the magazine for issue 19. Now, if you haven't done so already, head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. And in issue 19, we did receive a replacement steering wheel column trim, and they did provide the instructions for that. It shows you how to take the car apart and the steering column and steering wheel itself to replace the trim panel on the bottom here and put everything back together. So I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do this and show this to you. It's all self-explanatory, and we've done this already before, and but that's very nice that they finally gave us a replacement to make the trim panel itself more accurate to the car. And in this video we will build pack 71 through 74, or stages 71 through 74. And the first article is Upgrade Parts Improve the Manufacturer Design to Meet Customization Needs. And that is the continuing story of the GTR. And the launch of the long-awaited tuning computer. And the professional group, highly experienced in motorsports. So we do know that they do put these on the racetrack. Nova, located just in front of the Fuji Speedway, is the racing group involved in R35 GTR development. The Nord Ring itself, and a mechanics factory, less expensive than European supercar, the Nissan's production line. Should give us a good article on that. And continuing on with that, the moment of joy when their prototype car rolled down the line. Continuing on with that article there. Racing legend, the 2009 Nismo Festival. We captured a strictly confidential test of the super endurance racing specs. And our first stage, stage 71. Looks like we install the windshield wipers themselves and the front trim panel for those wipers. And I'll show you the next instructions as we go along. And upcoming in issue 20, it shows the 4 stages that we received there. So let me get the parts out for stage 71 and we'll get started. And in stage 71 we install the windshield wipers. Here's the parts list for that. And we actually put the blades onto the front and install that onto the car. Let me get the parts, I'll be right back. And here's a close-up of those parts. Here's the windshield wiper base. It's made of plastic, and the wiper blades themselves. In this case here, this blade with the real curve on the arm here is actually mounted on the passenger side, and then the driver's side would be the one that's more straighter. GP and IP screws. So as we look at our blades a little closer, they are actually marked. You have an L on this one here for the left side and an R for the right side. So we'll put this on. There's an alignment pin for this, and it simply goes down into, and IP screw goes into this. It has a flange on it. That looks good there. Put the other one in. And once again, this is an IP screw. That's good. That's what that looks like there. So I'll bring over the car and we'll install this on the car. So this simply just inserts down on this. Goes into the 2 slots that are provided, just like that. And they say the windshield wiper blades should rest on the windshield, which they do. And that looks good there. So the next step is to put in 2 GP screws from underneath. So I need to turn the car over. And we put 2 GP screws into this. There's one. And second one going in. And there's 2. Don't over tighten them. And that looks good there. Secured now. That completes stage 71. Let's go to 72. Welcome back. Let's look at the instructions for stage 72. Now in 72 we install the rear window, and here's a list of those parts. Looks like we use GM and GP screws for this. And you can see simply install the window from the top of the car, and just like we did for the front windshield, we'll slide it in underneath and put our screws in. So the screws going on the roof side look like they are GM screws, and then on the trunk side are GP screws. So we're going to be very careful when we install this, just like we did with the front windshield. The window is very fragile, so you want to be very careful with this and take your time with it. Here's the parts pack for stage 72, which is our rear window. I'll go ahead and take this out. We'll get a closer look. And here's a close-up of the rear window. They did put a protective coating on it for shipment, which I like. It prevents any rubbing or chafing and marring or scratching of the rear window. So that looks very nice there. And we received GM and GP screws. And here's our rear window. I'm going to take the protective coating off, and just like we did before, this slides in from underneath. Okay. And just a little bit of a trick to it, that's all. There we go. And it goes down, rests in there just like that. Put a washcloth down. I'm going to turn this over. And put GP screws into this. And the second screw. And the last one. That's good there. And for the top here, we put in GM screws and lubricate the holes. And GM screw goes into that. And that's the last screw going in. And that looks good there. And that completes stage 72. The rear window is fully installed. Looks great. Let's go to stage 73. And welcome back. Let's look at the instructions for stage 73. This time we install the rear quarter glass, and these are the parts we received. And in this case, we are careful, just like we are with the front windshield, the rear windshield, and install these rear quarters from the outside. And it looks like we use IP screws to secure them down, 2 on each side. We have 2 sides to do. And here's the other side. And that's what it should look like when we're done. I'll be right back with the parts. And here's the parts for stage 73, which is our screws and rear quarter glass. So I'll take these out and get a closer look. Here's a close-up of those parts. These are the rear quarter windows, one for each side. And you can see there, if you'll notice, I noticed with these, there's some flash on these. I don't think it's actually flash, it's an alignment tab. And one side looks better than the other. So I think those are supposed to be there to help keep the rear end in place when you insert it. And what was nice too is they did give us these little protective covers during shipment to prevent it from being scratched. And we received IP screws. So next we're going to install the rear quarter windows, and I'll show you this side and the other side I'll do off camera. But if you look at the rear quarter window, it has an alignment tab on the back to keep it in place, and that's a little tricky to get in place, to get it inserted nice and tight, and getting these tabs to go into the holes. Best way to do that is do yourself a favor here, and I'm going to take some Vaseline and I'm going to grease these up, so it's going to help those tabs slide in a little bit easier. It's going to help us along, so we don't break that window. Okay, and then slide it in from the back first, and there we go. Turn it over. IP screws go into this. And don't over tighten them. And I'm kind of supporting it from the back side a little. That's good there. And that's how that looks there. And there we go. There's the first rear quarter. And there's the other rear quarter. So that completes stage 73. Let's go to 74. Welcome back. Let's look at the final stage for Pack 19, and that's stage 74. So with stage 74, we install the rear view mirror, and these are the parts that are included. We did receive that replacement steering column, and simply put the mirror decal on the part and insert it into the top of the car. Pretty simple there. Secure it down with a BM screw, and that's what it should look like. Let me get the parts. I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 74, and here's that replacement part we received. We'll get a closer look at these, and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of those parts, and here's the replacement steering column, more accurate to the car. And I'm not going to install this, but it's totally your option. Remember, they did give us an instruction sheet on what to do to install this. And rear view mirror, very nice there. The chrome piece for the mirror itself, and your map light accessory hookup. Everything here is plastic and BM screws. First step is install the chrome mirror onto the mirror itself. And we just make sure it's going in the right direction here. It lines up, and that looks to be correct there. Notice it has a protective coating on it. I'm going to leave that on there, but we have very nice 3M tape here. Use an X-Acto blade to get it started, to peel it up. And That's great there. And just going to line it up. That's good there. Now that we have that in place, I'll pull the protective coating off. No reason to have it on anymore. That looks good. Wow, very nice. And we're going to put this on the car. So we have the car turned over, and this is our front windshield here. And we'll simply line up the mirror like that. And it's simply going to go down just like that. And we'll put our BM screw into it. I pre-lubricated the hole, so make it easier to go in. Don't over tighten it. And that's good there. And this part here we'll put away. We're going to be installing that a little bit later. So that completes stage 74. And had a blast doing that. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And thank you everybody who subscribes to my channel. Hit the bell for all video upload notifications. Head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. Happy modeling everybody, and take care.